Okay, and away we go with this right here. Okay. Here's how we multiply. Multiplication, you make one big fraction. Do you have any parentheses? Or do you have any plus or minuses, I should say? Do you see any, like here, you see a plus, you minus, 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 plus. Do you see that going on here? No, you don't. Okay? So I'm not going to need to use my scratch paper. I'm going to make this little box here and just combine the outsides. So 6 times 3 is 18. X third, X seconds, X to the fifth. Y is Y to the second. Okay? Then I have 8. X to the third is X to the fourth. And then I have Y to the second. So you want to make that little box off this side to do your outsides. Okay? Okay, so let's talk about this. 18 and 8 can be divided by 2. That becomes 9, and that becomes 4. I take the x to the fourth away, and I take 4 away from there, and that's x to the first, which will be just x. Y to the second goes away, and y to the second goes away, okay, because they're both the same. So the answer is 9 over 4, and then an x with the 9. Okay, now, unlike this problem, you see some places where you have addition and subtraction. So if you have that, you need to parenthesize the expression. Okay, now, is there anything outside of the parentheses? No, there's not. Everything's in a parentheses, so I can put NA here. Now, here's what I do with the actual parentheses. Okay, I take 2x squared plus 4x. That's 2 terms. It would be a GCF. And then I would see if I have a DOPS. GCF is 2x. And I go divide, and I end up with 1x plus 2. That's not a DOPS. So I go to this, and I write this as 2x times 1x plus 2. Okay, 3x minus 6. Again, 2 terms. So GCF. And then I want to check for a DOPS. GCF, it would just be 3, not 3x. So 3. It's going to be x minus 2, 1x. Not a DOPS, so I write times 3 times, I shouldn't have put that NA here, sorry. Okay, so I have 3 times 1x minus 2. Okay, right here, x to the second minus 4. Okay, GCF and DOPS. GCF, we don't have any. We do have a DOPS because that's x times x. We can ignore the 1 and 2 times 2. So, x plus 2, x minus 2. And then I've got 1x to the second minus 3x plus 2. That would be the GCF and the T-chart. GCF, we don't have any. 1 times 2 is positive 2, sum of 3. And that's 1 and 2, and A equals 1. So I'm good to go. XX, 1, 2, they would both have to be minuses because it's a sum. Okay, so times x minus 1 times x minus 2. So again, up here we didn't have any plus minuses to factor. Here we did. Now, in this box up here, I need to combine my outsides. So 2x times 3 is 6x. And then I don't have any here. So we're just going to have a 6x on top. Now, I got 1x plus 2 on top. Do I have that on bottom? Well, I do, because 1x plus 2 and x plus 2 mean the same thing. I have 1x minus 2 and 1x minus 2. Those can also be canceled. And I don't have any more on top, so I just put x minus 1 times x minus 2. And now that's multiplied. Okay, my next problem. Combine that into 1 first, and then where I have a plus or a minus, I parenthesize that expression, so I try to factor it. All right, so 3x minus 15. It's 2 terms, so it'd be GCF and DOPS. There's a GCF of 3 here, so 3. So it's going to be x, 1x minus 5. Not a DOPS, so forget that. Okay, so on top I put the 9x squared times, and this became 3 times x minus 5. Okay? X plus 5, because we have this here. I want to see if that can factor. GCF and DOPS, because it's only 2 terms, that's the only way it can be factored. So GCF, I don't have one, and it's not a DOPS, so that's what we call a prime expression. Okay, so I put the x first times the x plus 5. I couldn't do anything with that. Okay, so I make the little box off to the side. I've got 9x squared times 3, which is 27x squared. And then I've just got x on bottom. So I'm not going to do anything with the 27. That's going to be in the answer. And then x squared and x to the first, we get rid of the x to the first, and I take that down 1, so it's x to the first. So 27x on top. Now look at the parentheses. I've got x minus 5 and x plus 5. They're not the same, so those just remain in the answer. They will not cancel out. Okay, the next problem. Parenthesize where you have plus and minus. Okay, so the 6x I'm just going to drop down. And then 1x to the second minus 8x plus 15. We got to go GCF. And then my t-chart. A equals whatever. Okay, no GCF. 1 times 15 is positive 15, sum of 8, and that's 3 times 5. And A equals 1 here. So 2 parentheses, and that's going to be XX, 3 and 5. And then we got minus 8, so they both have to be minuses because it's a sum. Okay, so I write that as x minus 3 times x minus 5. Okay, 3x minus 18, GCF, and DOPS, because 2 terms. GCF is 3 here, but not 3x, just 3. That's going to be 1x minus 6, and that is not a DOPS because 6 isn't a perfect square. So this becomes 3 times 1x minus 6. And I've got 2x to the second plus 2x to the second minus 14x. Okay, GCF and DOPS. GCF is 2x here. And that becomes 1x minus 7, not a DOPS. So I rewrite this expression times 2x times 1x minus 7, okay? Now I do my outsides, so I've got 6x, and then I take 3 times 2x, that's also 6x. Now you got the same thing and the same thing. They can cancel, so I won't have any outsides. So I've got x minus 3. Do I have that on bottom? Nope, so that remains in the product. X minus 5 will remain in the product. 1x minus 6, that's x minus 6, then 1x minus 7. Okay, so none of the parentheses were able to cancel. Okay, next one, 5x to the second over 30x to the second minus 25x. So where I have a parentheses, I just make that. So on top I have the 5x squared. That remains the same. And then I take 30x to the second minus 25x. It'd be GCF and DOPS, okay, because two terms. Okay, GCF here is 5x. You can divide those down by 5 with 5x. So I divide by 5x, divide by 5x. So it's going to be 6x minus 5. And that's not a DOPS, okay? So I rewrite this expression as 5x times 6x minus 5. Okay, outside factors. I have 5x squared over 5x. The 5's can cancel. These cannot just cancel. You need to get rid of that, and then minus a 1, x to the first. So you're just going to have x on top. And then in parentheses, we just have the 6x minus 5. It does not cancel. There we have it. Okay, next one. Parenthesize both those. Now I factor what's in parentheses. So 40x plus 20. GCF and DOPS. So GCF is 20, but just 20. That's going to be 2x plus 1, not a DOPS. So I rewrite this as 20 times 2x plus 1. And then here, 10x plus 30. And you have to do it like this. You can't do it in any other order. GCF and DOPS. So GCF is 10. I divide these by 10, and that becomes 1x plus 3. Okay, so 10 times 1x plus 3. So I have 20 over 10 outside. We can divide those by 10. So that becomes a 1. That becomes a 2. So in the answer, I'm just going to put the 2. I'm going to ignore what the 1 is, and that's going to be 2x plus 1, because that can't cancel. And then I'm going to have x plus 3 on bottom. Okay, next problem. Parenthesize where we have those plus and minuses. If there's a plus and minus, you've got to make sure you parenthesize that. Okay? So 2x to the second plus 10x. Two terms, so it'd be the GCF and DOPS. GCF is 2x, so I factor out 2x, and then I divide by 2x, and that's going to be 1x plus 5, not a DOPS. So I just rewrite that as 2x times 1x plus 5. Okay, 3x to the second plus 16x plus 5. That'd be a T-chart one, so GCF. And then my T. There is no GCF. We can't divide that down. 3 times 5 is 15. Sum of 16. And what's 1 plus 15? It's 16, so I found it. A is equal to 3, so we will need 4 parentheses here, not just 2. So I lead off with the 3 in each one, then XX, and then 115. So I've got plus, so it's plus and plus. That does not reduce down. That reduces by 3, so that becomes 1x plus 5. Now, don't pull the 3 out, okay? So that becomes 3x plus 1 times 1x plus 5. Okay, outside we just have 2x, okay? Well, there's nothing on bottom to go with it, so 2x is still there. 1x plus 5, 1x plus 5 cancels, and that gives me 3x plus 1. Okay, my next problem. Plus minus, you parenthesize that whole thing and parenthesize that. So you need to factor those expressions down. Okay, so I have x to the third minus 4x to the second plus 3x minus 12. Okay, that's 4 terms, so we need to set up our grouping for that one. So we have 1x to the third minus 4x to the second, and then 3x minus 12. So I'm going to divide by x to the second, and I'm going to divide by 3. So x to the second pulls out, and 3 pulls out, and I get 1x minus 4. 1x minus 4 comes out, and then I get x to the second plus 3. Now, neither one of these is a DOPS. That's a minus, but that would have to have a second power for it to be a DOPS. So I rewrite this as 1x minus 4 times x to the second plus 3. And then this trinomial on bottom, that's going to be 1x to the second minus 6x plus 8. GCF and T. There's no GCF. ABC that, it's positive 8, sum of 6, and that's going to be 2 times 4. A equals 1. So it's just XX, 2, 4. And I have minus 6, so they're both going to be minus. So this here becomes x minus 2 times x minus 4. Okay, there are no outsides. Okay, everything's in parentheses, so NA. 1x minus 4, x minus 4 are the same, and then these two are not the same, so they go in the product. X squared plus 3, x minus 2. Okay, extend that. Now, there's no pluses and minuses, okay? So if there's no pluses and minuses, you don't need to factor. You make this, and I combine the outsides. So 6 times 2 is 12. X second, and then y times y is y to the second. I have 9, and then x times x to the third is x to the fourth, and then the y to the second. Okay, 12 and 9 can be divided by 3, so that becomes 4, that becomes 3. So I've got 4 over 3. Get rid of the x to the second, and take 2 away from there, and now that's to the second, and that's on bottom. Y second just cancels, and this is my answer. So I did not need to factor. There was no adding or subtracting signs. Okay, next thing I need to do, again, make that line. You parenthesize this, and that. Okay? So 2x to the second minus 1x minus 6. That would be the GCF-T procedure because there are 3 terms. GCF, I do not have any. 2 times negative 6 is negative 12, difference of 1, and that's 3 times 4. Now, A is equal to 2 here, so just know we're going to need 2 sets here. So 2, 2, x, x, 3, 4. So I have minus 1, so minus 4, and difference would be plus 3. So that stays 2x plus 3. That divides by 2, and that becomes 1x minus 2. There was no GCF, so you're good. So, parentheses 2x plus 3 times 1x minus 2. Okay, x to the second plus x. Well, why don't you put 1s in front of those? GCF is just x, okay, so I pull out x, and I'm going to have 1x plus 1. Not a dot, so I put times x times 1x plus 1, okay? Okay, 2x to the second plus 5x plus 3, GCF and T chart. GCF is no, we don't have one. 2 times 3 is 6, positive, sum of 5. It's got to be add to 5. 1 and 6 don't add to 5. That's a difference of 5. 2 and 3, boom. A equals 2, so 2 sets. So 2, 2, x, x, 2, 3. So I got plus, so plus and plus. So that will divide by 2, 1x plus 1, and 2x plus 3. So it's 1x plus 1 times 2x plus 3. And then I have the 1x to the second minus 4. GCF, don't have it. And then there were two terms, so it would be DOPS. And that's x times x, got the minus, 2 times 2. So x plus 2, x minus 2. Times x plus 2 times x minus 2. Okay, so outside factors, all you have is x. Okay, so that's pretty easy. You'll have an x outside. 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3. 1x minus 2 and x minus 2 are the same thing. 1x plus 1, 1x plus 1, same thing. And I just have that x plus 2 on the bottom. So x over x plus 2. Okay, next one. Extend the line. And go to your factoring. 6x to the second plus 1x minus 1. GCF and the T-chart. GCF is no, we don't have one. 6 times negative 1 is negative 6, so difference of 1. It's not 1 and 6, but it is 2 and 3. A equals 6, so I need two sets. So I lead off with 6 and 6, x, 2, 3. So I got plus 1x, so plus 3, and then minus 2. We can divide those down by 2, so that's 3x minus 1, and by 3 here, so that's 2x plus 1. So I've got 3x minus 1 times 2x plus 1. And then this one here. So 1x to the second minus 4x minus 3. That's GCF. Don't have it. And the T-chart. So negative 3, difference of 4. Or no, it's 5. Sorry, I put 5. So it's negative 5, difference of 4, and that's 1 and 5. There's my difference. So A equals 1. So you got minus, so minus 5 and plus 1. So x plus 1 times x minus 5. Okay, then we have 4x cubed plus 4x to the second. So GCF and DOPS. GCF. You have a GCF of 4x squared here because you got x third x squared, so 4x squared is the GCF. Okay, so that's 1x plus just 1, okay? So 4x squared times 1x plus 1. Then I have 6x to the second minus 2x. So GCF and DOPS. So GCF of 2x. That's going to be 3x minus 1, okay? So that's times 2x times 3x minus 1. Okay, outsides, I've got nothing on top, and then I have 4x squared and 2x on bottom. We need to take 4 times 2 to give us 6. And then x second, x is x to the third. Now, you can't do any canceling because you don't have anything on top. So 6x to the third. Okay, 3x minus 1, 3x minus 1, 2x plus 1, don't have that, so that's going to be in the answer. X plus 1 and 1x plus 1 are the same thing, and then x minus 5 is in the answer. Okay, next one, extend that and parenthesize, don't because there's no plus or minus. We're just going to have that x down there. Okay, x to the second minus 4x minus 32. GCF and T. GCF is no. And that's going to be negative 32, difference of 4. And that's 4 times 8. A equals 1. So that's x and 4 and 8. And then we got minus 4, so we're going to have minus 8 and plus 4. So x plus 4, x minus 8. Okay, 4x to the second power minus 9. GCF, no. DOPS, yeah, because you got minus and then 2x times 2x and 3 times 3. So 2x, 2x, 3, and 3. So times 2x plus 3 times 2x minus 3. Okay, 2x to the second minus 13x minus 24. That's a trinomial, so GCF. And the t. GCF, I don't have one. 2 times negative 24 is negative 48, so difference of 13, and I can find that with 3 and 16. And A equals 2, so we need to make 2 sets. So I put my 2 in front, then x, and then 3, 16. So I've got minus, so minus 6 and plus 3. You need to keep that the same, and we divide this by 2, that's 1x minus 8. Okay, so I've got 2x plus 3 times 1x minus 8. And outside, we just have this x in the denominator. Can't do anything about it, so that's x. X plus 4 cannot cancel. X minus 8, 2x plus 3, 2x plus 3. And my 2x minus 3 can't be canceled. Okay.